Who is Venom?
We are Venom.
Who is Venom? Are we sure? Are we sure that we know who Venom is? We think we know who Venom is, but are we sure? What's up, everyone? My name is DJ CS, and welcome to an all-new video here on my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be doing a breakdown of all the news we got yesterday for Marvel Spider-Man 2 from the San Diego Comic-Con regarding the panel, because they talked about some things, and of course, the trailer that we got that I did a live reaction to. If you missed it, go check it out. I literally had to live react to that, record it, process it, upload it, and run to work. So I didn't get a chance to really sit down and break down the video, but that's what we're going to do in this video. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and drop it a like. I would greatly appreciate that. And please let me know, who do you think Venom is? Are you sure? We're going to talk about that. So thanks to Insomniac Games, they were kind of live tweeting as the panel was going on and giving us quotes from the people who worked on the game and from the voice actors and stuff like that, which surprisingly, a lot of the voice actors were there with everything that's going on with the strikes. I thought they weren't going to be, but nonetheless, I'm not judging them. It's awesome that they were there. It's great that they were there, and I hope nobody else is judging them because they were there, because that's kind of stupid. They worked hard on this game, and they want to be able to share their excitement of this game with the fans. So it's, I understand there's a strike going on and it's supported and all that stuff, but we should also support these actors who did a job before the strike. You know what I mean? So yeah. From senior art director Jacinda Chu, I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. She talked about the heroes in the new suits. Our suit designs reflect where our heroes are. Like we said, they are about 9 to 10 months after the last game. They are more sophisticated. So this is 9 to 10 months after Miles Morales. And they've grown together as a team. Their suits are kind of more advanced, and we kind of see that with the Sony suit that's Spider-Man that Peter has throughout the game. It kind of looks like there's a little bit more detail, a little brighter, a little more white in there. And then Brian Intihar kind of goes in a little bit more on that, where he says, what's great about this game is we are picking up 9 to 10 months after the game. Miles and Peter are a well-oiled machine, but trying to figure out their lives. So as we saw in the trailer, like, Peter's got a new job, Miles is going to school. They're on top of dealing with being Spider-Man, they're also dealing with their day-to-day lives. And now Peter also has to deal with his life of being friends with Harry, friends with Miles, his relationship with MJ, trying to pay the bills, working a job. He's got this is Spider-Man. And then going on further, Brian Intihar also gave us a little insight on casting Venom. He said, I heard Tony after listening to a Candyman thing, and I said that would be the one. I get a call from Patrick, and he tells me, you're not going to believe this, and it's been awesome ever since then. So Tony Todd, to me personally, is like one of the perfect voices for Venom. He's got that deep and gravelly voice, and we've only heard like 2 lines of him as Venom, where he's the original where he said, yes, we will, and then now in this new one where he says, we will heal the world. And every time I hear it, it sends chills through my spine, and I love it, and I cannot wait to see more and play this game. Najee Jeter, who voices Miles, gave us a little insight of what it was like to realize that Martin Lee was coming back, as we saw in the trailer. He said, coming back to Martin Lee is big. I didn't think we would revisit that. That was kind of a boom. So we haven't seen Lee since the first game, and throughout the whole Miles Morales game, I don't even know if Martin Lee was mentioned. It's been a while since I played the game. I'm going to be replaying it here soon, but Martin Lee hasn't really been seen since the first game. So for Miles to have to come back and face the man who killed his father is going to be kind of that turmoil that's happening a lot in this game, especially when the symbiote is involved. And then in regards to the actual story of Marvel Spider-Man 2, narrative director John Paquette went on to say it's a simple human story. We all have a darkness inside of us. So we started with that. And when you have somebody like Peter Parker, he has this power and he starts pushing people away. So again, that's kind of what this story is telling, that feeling of those inner demons, those inner darkness, and the symbiote really enhances those feelings and brings those out. We see the kind of rift being pulled between MJ and Peter. We see a moment where Miles is so full of fury and rage when he sees Martin Lee We of course know that Harry gets out of the tank and he's sick, and we even see a moment of rage within him. So it's kind of like that inner turmoil that's pulling these people apart, and then the symbiote gets involved, and then that's when it really enhances those feelings. And then of course Venom happens. And speaking of Venom, Tony Todd went on to say, "I get a call from Insomniac to test drive Venom. It's been the most exciting voice acting journey I've had to date." And he adds, "Venom was fun to do. I wanted to make sure there was a joyous quality in the destruction. I wanted a sense of joy and tenacity and deliciousness." And again, to me, I don't think there was a better voice actor out there you could have got for Tony Todd. Now, other people have voiced Venom in the past, yes. Even, Tom Hardy voices the Venom in the movie series. But again, to me, this is like the perfect casting for Venom. So they didn't really reveal too much to us. That the trailer didn't show us, with the exception of it being 8 to 9 months out. They didn't come out and fully say who Venom is. They didn't fully come out and say ... But nonetheless, we've got a little bit of insight from the people who've worked on the game, and that's pretty cool. It was not a very long panel, so it doesn't surprise me that they didn't talk about too much, but there's all kinds of screenshots of the cast being together. There's even a video of Tony Todd holding up the collector statue you get of Venom holding Spider-Man and Miles in each hand. And he's talking, then he tells the other two, say, "Come in here, you two web-slinging sons of whatever." And the voice actors for Miles and Peter walk in, and they're just kind of having fun. It clearly shows that they had fun with this game as they were doing the voice act. I don't know if they were in the same room at the same time, but they clearly had fun with this game and they enjoy working together.
Okay, all right, everybody, look at this beautiful thing. This is what you get if you pre-order the Spider-Man edition, because we're gonna wreck it up. Come on, both of you web-slinging mother suckers, Max shooters, Max web-slinging mother suckers. Woo! And go whatever you do, Miles Morales, don't ever drink a damn Macallan 18 in one slug. It's okay.
Now, I went through this trailer at the slowest pace I could to get it frame by frame. I did my best to pick out every little detail that I could, and we're going to talk about that right now. Starts off with Harry and Peter sitting at what appears to be the college or possibly the high school. There's going to be two different schools we see in the new map of this game. And they're talking about how the last 10 years things have been different. Now, we know that in the first game, we were told that Harry went to England, I think it was, somewhere in Europe. He was sent away because, for whatever reasons. MJ ends up finding out that Harry was sick and he was actually getting treatment.
Especially today, I've put Harry, I've sent him away for treatment. We'll fix him, Em.
We'll fix him.
I promise. Development of GR27 was too slow to save you. It won't fail, Harry.
What? This can't be for Harry, can it? Harry's journal. His last entry is marked July 18.
Now we see at the end of the game and the end credit scene that he's been in this tank. He's been bonded with the symbiote, but not possibly completely bonded. I believe they said in the Miles game that he's rejecting the symbiote. So again, I'm going to be replaying that game here soon. So all that's going to come back to me once I start playing it. And we'll dive into that a little bit later, as I have a theory as to what is going on with this symbiote suit. From there, we move on to the Marvel's credits, the comic credits that roll. Now, I went through this. This is one of the areas that I went through specifically, trying to find the smallest, minute detail. There are a lot of comic book shots in this intro here, this logo, as they always do, both the movies and in the games. And going through this, like I said, I wanted to try to find certain characters who we might not know about that could be teases to other characters we will see in the game, and trying to pinpoint the characters and the storyline and what comic they're from is kind of difficult because we're only limited to such a small, quick shot. Not a lot of detail of what's going on. And then you also got the Marvel logo in there, kind of altering the way it looks. So I actually reached out to one of my homies, my homie Shaolin, and he threw some names out at me who he thinks these might be, because I honestly had no clue some of these people. Now for this first one here, he threw names at me like Silvermane and possibly Spider Slayer. Another name that came to mind to me was Alistair Smythe, possibly. He worked for the Kingpin. This could be one of his robots that he's built. Don't really know. And then for this next one here, my boy Shaolin threw out names like Chance, Warrant, Solo, Trapster. But this could also be like J. Jonah's son, J.J. Jonah III, the astronaut. This could really be a long list of different characters from the Spider-Man rogues gallery, if you want to call them that, because it's kind of a generic image. It's just a guy wearing a mask inside of what looks like a helmet with a blue glove. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint that. Then there's a lot more just random comic book shots. There's this one shot here of what looks like Venom, possibly. And then there's more action scenes, they're just like cropped out images of pages from a comic book. There is this one here that kind of looks like possibly Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. We did see her in one of the other trailers pop up on Kraven's little tablet there, so Felicia Hardy could be coming back. And then it gets all dark and it's just a Marvel logo. And then we get a shot of what looks like Miles and Peter jumping off the Brooklyn Visions Academy school that Miles is going to. Now we get a few shots here of the new map area being Brooklyn and everything. We could kind of see it looks as similar. The buildings are going to be kind of the same, not necessarily copy and paste, but we definitely get a better look at this massive map that we're going to have. We can kind of see Brooklyn from the other side. We see what looks to be Coney Island, possibly, which is going to be interesting to just go through and just walk through and check out. And then we also get our first introduction of Harry to Miles. We see that MJ has a new look. Her face design is kind of different. Her hair is down. Miles also has a new look. His hair is different as well. Peter kind of has a new look. We don't really get a good look at Genki. Genki's kind of on the side there, but they've definitely gone through and kind of remodeled the facial features and the hair designs once again. Now they've remodeled Peter a few times, and a lot of people didn't really like the way they remodeled him for the PS5, but this is going to be our face going forward, so we're moving on from that. And then we get one of Kraven's drones flying back over to what I believe is the Manhattan Island. But I could be wrong on that. But seeing drones gives me flashbacks of the Taskmaster's challenges where we had to do those drone challenges. And that is one of my things that I hope are not in this game. But the fact that we see drones could be one of Kraven's challenges that we have to chase down these drones and hit the little blue squares and all that stuff like we had to do in the first game. And then we see Kraven's men descending down from one of Kraven's ships. And then we see this guy coming through what appears to be just like this little plant area inside of a business or something. Now, it's not confirmed, but this could be the game's version of Grizzly, a character from the Marvel's comics, who's gone through many different iterations, had 4 different people actually become the character Grizzly. But nonetheless, this could be Insomniac Spider-Man's depiction of the character Grizzly. He looks like he's going to be kind of like a boss, a mini boss of some sort, one of our boss fights that we will have to deal with. Now, this place that they're in seems kind of like a lab, or possibly like I don't even want to say a mall, but definitely looks like kind of a lab. I'm thinking this is Oscorp. So some kind of fight happens in Oscorp. We see a little bit of that later, but then we get to see Peter spread his wings and go gliding. Now, this is kind of where I said we get kind of a look at the the changes to the Sony Spider-Man suit. There seems to be a lot more bright colors, a lot more little hints of white added here and there. It's not easy to see, but it does kind of look a little different, not major different. And then we see MJ again, and Peter's telling her that he has another name for her, and it's Kraven. And of course, we see Kraven then, who is back in the jungle. That's most likely after the trailer we saw when they said, we have more challenges for you, and they hand him the tablet, and he sees all the names, and he smiles. And then we see Kraven's helicopters descending upon New York City, as well as boats. Then we see Peter in this tux carrying a tray. Now, we had mentioned earlier that Peter has a new job. This could very well be Peter's new job, and he doesn't seem too happy with it, but he's most likely going to lose this job because he has to balance his life of Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility and all, right? So he's most likely going to lose this job because he has to leave during his shift to go be Spider-Man. Possibly, not necessarily, because Miles is also there as well. So Miles could be covering him while he's working. Peter covers for Miles while he's in school, so on and so forth. We get another shot of one of these Predator Hunter robots of some sort. I don't know if this is a dog, if it's supposed to be like a panther or a tiger or something, but nonetheless, one of these Predator robots that Kraven has. And then we see something very interesting. We see this scene of what appears to be either something has crashed from space or some kind of it's either a crater or a piece of spaceship or a satellite or something has fallen and caused this little area of fire, but inside it is the symbiote. Now, don't really know when this is. This could very well be early on, like a flashback to 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, but this could very well be Oscorp's people. They do have little icons here. I can't fully see what they are. Let me see if I can zoom in here. I'm actually just watching the YouTube video as we talk about this. I'm going to put different images up for you guys on the screen. Yeah, I can't really zoom in, so I'll put it in Photoshop and I'll zoom in and enhance it for you guys so you can see possibly if it says Oscorp or not. But I do believe this is Oscorp coming back to retrieve a piece of their technology that fell from space, and they find the symbiote suit. Miles tells Peter, if you need me, I'm just a call away, because he knows that Pete is going through a lot of shit with the death of Aunt May and the relationship with MJ and the job and balancing being Spider-Man and being an adult and being just life in general. But here we get a good shot of the back of Peter's suit. Now, I'm not entirely sure. I will do a side-by-side here. I'll jump into the game and do a side-by-side of the back of these two suits from the first game and the new game. Is there a significant difference? I don't really know because I'm not looking at it right now, but you guys are. So hopefully we can see a significant difference. Miles' suit definitely looks a lot more detailed as it would in a cutscene, and it looks really, really good. I'm very interested to see what other kind of suits we're going to get in this game. They haven't really told us. I mean, they've told us some from the pre-orders, but they haven't shown us or told us a lot of what the other suits are going to be. A lot of people are saying that hopefully we get like more movie suits like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, since we got the Amazing Spider-Man 1 in the first game. And, going forward with other, Into the Spider-Verse suits and other movie suits. We see Miles swinging from that first trailer we saw where he's saving this human as they're chasing down Lizard. We see Martin Lee. We get a good shot here of Martin Lee, who appears to be outside in the rain somewhere. His hair is grown out. His beard's grown out. He's definitely been in prison for a while. As they said, I think it was 9 to 10 months they said. So he's definitely been in prison for a while at the raft. But there appears to be some sort of breakout, as we kind of figured would happen, that the people on the raft get out. Miles sees him and confronts him and says, "You don't know what you took from me." Now, this is going to be the inner turmoil for Miles. What is he going to do in this situation? Is he going to beat up Lee? Is he going to want to kill Lee? Or is he going to, essentially beat up Lee and have him arrested again and let the system do its thing? The system is broken, though, as we see, because Lee got out. But behind him, there's some commotion going on. We see this huge propeller, so this has something to do with the boat. We see the water on the right side of Miles, but on the lower left, you can see Peter in the background. Looks like he's saving some people. On the right, though, I don't know if these are just normal NPCs, but they kind of look like Mary Jane and Genki. Could be, I don't really know. Because, like I said, it's not a very clear image. They could just be random NPCs. Then we get this shot here, and I think a lot of people missed this. This is very possibly, most likely, our first look at Wraith. You see Peter on the left, and I believe that is Harry on the right. I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, Peter's suited up. Harry's in his normal clothes. But this is an awesome, badass intro for Wraith, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. I don't really know who Wraith is going to be. I'm seeing a lot of theories that it's going to be Yuri. And as we saw, I don't really know if there's any... I don't remember if there's any teases for that in Miles. But at the end of the first game, Marvel Spider-Man, when you play the DLCs, we kind of see that Yuri went down this dark path, and she may have been fired off the Force. So this could be Yuri's new path as Wraith.
A crime against nature? Maybe not such a good idea after all, huh?
Didn't they turn him into a robot?
You weren't listening.
And Miles
Sid
or something?
Long term. Old school Maji's got patience. Knows how to wait till just the right moment.
Atta girl Yuri.
Yuri,
Oh, hey.
what are you... No, Yuri!
Why
Don't
Yuri?
do this! Captain, stop!
This is bad.
It's your badge, Yuri.
Last time we met, you said something about fear. How do you feel now?
You can shoot him in the face, it won't do nothing. It wasn't in Miles he became a cyborg. He became a cyborg at the end of DLC. Look at the detail. The threads. Well, when this is over, we are done. We are done for the night. And then Miles, we see going after these robotic birds, these robotic vultures, whatever these are, who are carrying this crate. What's in the crate, we don't know. But Miles is doing this on his own. Just ripping those wings right off the vulture bird. And then we see this image of Peter here sitting in a windowsill. Now, I can't really tell who this woman is because the lighting is kind of off. This could be Yuri, or this could be Miles' mom, Rio Morales, who we know from Spider-Man, from Miles Morales, is the mayor now, if I remember correctly. She's the mayor. And so, again, this could be Miles' mom, or could be Yuri. Again, I'm not really sure, but I'm leaning more towards possibly Rio, because they're kind of talking about Miles in the background, and all Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man. So again, this could be Rio Miles. Just with the lighting, everything, we don't see her face. It's kind of hard to tell who this is. Then we get a shot of that we got before of Peter dropping in with the Venom symbiotes all out and crazy, and Miles kind of being scared of him. But Miles is talking to MJ in the background in the voiceover, and it's MJ who actually says all Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man and how to help you. And then Miles says, what the hell is going on with Pete? And then MJ says he's not himself. And then we see a shot of MJ hiding from Peter in the symbiote suit. She tells Miles to go help him. Now, I believe at some point there's going to be a moment in this game where Peter goes too far. I don't know if that's going to be with MJ or if that's going to be with Miles. It's going to get to a point where the symbiote fully takes over and he just loses control, and he either beats up Miles or possibly, I don't want to say it, I don't even want to think about it, but possibly physically attacks MJ. I don't want to think it. I don't want to go there, but they are saying that this game is pretty dark and it goes to a lot of dark places. So that's entirely possible. The next scene, We see Miles break into what could be the Craven-off estate. I'm not really sure. Originally, when I first saw this, I thought they were Wakandans just because it was a quick shot and a lot was going on. But these are definitely Craven's people. As you get a good shot here, you can kind of see a lot of them have like body paint, war paint on. They've got these almost look like tusk swords of some sort. But definitely this is a Craven-off estate of some sort. Will we see Chameleon? Will we see Chameleon at some point in this game? That's a name that a lot of people haven't been throwing around. Chameleon, of course, is Craven's brother. And there's an entire possibility that maybe we will. Maybe Chameleon will be some sort of DLC or something, but don't know. But then we see these big brutes with these I don't even know what to call them. They're gonna be like the new batons that the Sable Force had, or those glowing swords that the demons had. I feel like these are going to be some kind of energy driven weapons that when they hit you, that you kind of like get electrified or hit with energy and you can't use your powers or something like that for a minute. But nonetheless, these guys look like they're going to be a force to reckon with. And of course, they have shields as well. Then we get an awesome shot of Lizard, who is being wrapped up by the symbiote suit by Peter. But his scream, his growl, of course, affects the symbiote suit, because that is how you affect the symbiote suit, is with loud noises and vibration. We get a shot of Craven. We haven't really seen Craven do any fighting. We've seen all his soldiers, all his men, all his people doing the fighting. And we just see Craven standing around lots of times, just looking and smiling. And I'm sure at some point, though, we would definitely get a Craven fight. And then we get another shot of Harry and Peter kind of, once again, having a conversation. And Harry says, this was our dream. Now, who is our? Of course, from the first game, we know that Harry was really big on helping the environment with all those little side quests that you have, with all the little labs you would go to, and you would clean up the air pollution, you would fix gas leaks, you would help the fish, you would help the birds, you would help all these kinds of things. That was all Harry's mission. But I believe it was also his mother's mission, and he was kind of carrying it on for her. But this was our dream. Maybe he means him and Peter. What dream did they have? We don't know. We'll have to find out when we play the game. But in the background, you can see there's a helicopter just chilling on the street. It says Oscorp. So Harry's kind of throwing his money around, his prestige, his title, his place in the world, and just called an Uber for a helicopter and just landed in the middle of the street in New York City. We then see a shot again of Peter jumping out of the basement. First, he has the PlayStation suit on, but then the symbiote takes over, which is still a pretty badass shot. But then we see Harry walking with a cane, and he appears to be seeing something. What he's seeing, we really don't know. But then we get a shot of what I believe is the first time the symbiote bonds with Peter. Now, some are saying that is when he becomes Venom, that it's overloading, and he's so angry, he's so frustrated that he's transforming into Venom. I think this is when he first bonds with the symbiote. And then we see a shot of all the symbiote spikes coming out and attacking these Craven people. Again, this appears to be in that lab setting, possibly earlier. You can see all the offices, signs in the background. I have a theory on all this, and we will talk about that in a bit. But then we see a shot of MJ, and she says, I'm not going to lose you. We see a shot of Miles readying up his Venom bite, and he's ready to strike these Craven dudes. We then get a pretty awesome shot of Norman and Harry having a moment. Norman is saying, I'm not going to lose you. But we see the symbiote in the background. Now, is this a flashback? Again, like I said before, we had the flashback quite possibly when they found the symbiote suit. Could this be a flashback when he's telling Harry, I'm not going to lose you. I know you're sick. This is what we've come up with. We're going to put you in this tank, and we're going to bond you to that big black ball of ooze and whatever in there, and that's going to make you better. Or is it something different? Again, I have a theory on that. We will talk about it in a bit. Then Harry is mad about something. He throws his cane through the window. Again, what's he mad about? Don't really know. But again, have a theory. Then we see this shot. Now, it is hard to tell who this is. Kind of looks like Harry because the shirt kind of looks like Harry's shirt. But there's also a possibility that this is Peter. Kind of looks like Peter's hairstyle, but again, it's really hard to tell from the back because they honestly look the same. Even if you go back to that first shot where they were talking to each other, their hairstyles are kind of similar. Harry's is a little more bushy and it looks a little more red, but in this lighting later, it's kind of hard to tell. But this is an awesome shot of the city, and I just can't wait to play this game and see the map and how massive it is and how amazing it's going to look. And of course, we then hear Venom say, "We are going to heal the world."
We're going to heal the world.
That is something Harry had said earlier to Peter, "We are going to heal the world." Now, are they playing with us here? Of course, what they want us to believe is that Harry is the one saying this both times, as Harry and as Venom, but it could also be that Peter is repeating this to Harry as Venom. I don't believe that necessarily. I don't think that Peter is Venom, because I'm just hoping it's not, because Peter has never been Venom. Again, that would be something for them to do differently than any other story ever before, but I really don't want them to go down that path. And then we get awesome, amazing shots of total destruction from Venom as he's tearing apart this helicopter, one of Kraven's helicopters, and it crashes into one of the digital billboards in Times Square, I believe this is. It's kind of hard to tell, but this definitely looks like Times Square. And actually, I just noticed this. If you kind of look in the background, you do see a red and blue character. But what that is, I don't really know. Who that is, I don't really know. Man, it's hard. It's really hard to make out, but you can see something red and blue on the right side there. Is that a person? I don't know, but it's kind of interesting to see there. But nonetheless, going forward, the helicopter blows up. Venom lands and does his amazing growl, the amazing just visuals. I love it. And then it cuts to the Spider-Man logo, but right as Venom lands, you can see Kraven's army is pulling up and they're ready to attack. Now, this could very well be one of those moments that we've had in both the Spider-Man games where it goes from cutscene to action. And that would imply that we get to play as Venom. But that would also possibly imply that Peter Parker is Venom. Unless we're going to play as Peter, Miles, and Venom, and Harry, It'd be different. I mean, don't get me wrong, there could definitely be missions where we play as Harry. We've played as MJ. We played as Miles before he got powers. We play as people without powers plenty of times. We play as normal, like those stealth missions and stuff that a lot of people hated, and myself included. The early on MJ missions where she had no powers and stuff, and you're just walking around stealth, and it kind of really slows down the game. That's a big issue about it. But and with the exception of that red and blue that we saw in the top right corner we see no Miles, we see no Peter. So this could very well be a part where we get to play as Venom, which would be amazing and awesome. And I think if it is Peter, I think people would definitely overlook it if it meant they got to play as Venom. We don't really get a full timestamp of when these events happen, but I have a theory. So, we're going to see a flashback to where Oscorp, satellite, rocket ship, something is crashing from space. Pieces have fallen off. They're going to collect the debris. They find the symbiote suit. They end up testing it. They end up working with it. They found that it has the capability to possibly heal Harry. Norman puts Harry in the tank with the symbiote suit. The symbiote suit kind of bonds to him a little bit and helps heal him mildly. Not fully, but a little bit. We find out in Miles Morales that he's not fully bonding with the symbiote suit, that it's rejecting him. So it could be that they decide not to do this anymore. They get Harry out of there. They separate him from the suit, but the suit is still in that tank. Flash forward to Peter fighting Grizzly in what appears to be Oscorp. This could be what Harry sees. He sees Peter fighting these Kraven people But within all the destruction, the tank that the symbiote suit is being held in gets damaged somehow, gets destroyed, and the symbiote suit gets out, and then leaks down and finds Peter, and bonds with Peter. That's a shot we see, and I don't think Harry likes this very much. I think Harry liked the symbiote suit, even though they didn't bond. I think Harry liked the symbiote suit. Then, like I said before, something is going to happen where Peter does something really, really bad, and then he realizes that this suit is messing with him, is changing him, and then Miles and Peter work together to get rid of the symbiote suit. In doing so, the suit then goes back to Harry, its last host. Or possibly even goes to Craven, or possibly even to Miles, or possibly to somebody else. But I think the Venom that we've been seeing is Harry. Now, it wouldn't, in terms of size, it doesn't make sense, right? Because Harry is even smaller than Peter in terms of like muscle mass and, size and stature and stuff. But Venom is a different being. He's massive and in general, and that's just the symbiote suit that makes him look that big. Eddie Brock, of course, was a muscular guy. A lot of people are hoping for Eddie Brock to be in this game. I don't think Eddie Brock is going to be. He might be in the game, but he's not going to be Venom necessarily. So who is Venom? We don't really know. Again, I have a theory that we're going to see, Peter, of course, wear the symbiote suit. He's going to get rid of it, and then Harry will get the symbiote suit back now that he's kind of given into his possible hatred. They're really leaning on like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 storyline where Harry's asking for Peter's help, but Peter is kind of reluctant to do so. And in doing that, it makes Harry angry with Peter. And so, again, going forward through this story, as Harry gets angrier, he's going to bond more with the symbiote suit and their hatred for Spider-Man and their hatred for Peter. So that is my theory. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments if you agree, if you disagree. Who do you think Venom is? We're going to find out on October 20th. I will be playing it live over on Twitch. Not the day it comes out, a couple days, because I will be working on the 20th. So once I have my 3 days off, I think I'm going to be playing this game like non-stop. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. When we get more information, supposedly there's going to be another Comic-Con panel thing today. I don't really know when. When we get more information, I would definitely be talking about that. I have to go through and edit this video now and get all the shots and stuff. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop it a like. I'll greatly appreciate that. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. With all said and done, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good one, guys. And as always, don't forget to tip your DJ. Later, dudes.